Hey guys, this is Eugene. Another haul video here. Sorry about my voice. I've got a pretty crazy cold right now. But this is a haul from Wally at the Holiday Inn, Winnipeg, Manitoba. They have it about every 6 months in spring and in fall. And it's actually not 50 comics. It's about 47 because I put some in the store for the last day there, just to sweeten the pot over there, and for if my buddy wants to take them, I figured he might like those if he cares to check them out. So yeah, this is from the bargain bin hunting. There was a lot of good stuff there. That was like higher class that I didn't pick up. I would have liked to, but I'm keeping it pretty Spartan. Not really going for like those key issues. I'm not really a key guy. I don't really care about that stuff. Nothing against people who do, but the stuff there that I would have liked to get was there's a lot of early pressings of TMNT Volume 1 from Raj Studios. And a lot of them I have already, but if I wanted to be like a hardcore collector, I would try to get like those first prints and stuff. There was also a lot of old EC prints that would be like killer to get. I love old horror. EC, I like the art, but a lot of the time there's too much words and something about the lettering. They used that it was not really like a hand lettering. So much. It's hard to explain. But I don't know. I usually when I read EC comics, I just read I don't even bother reading the narration boxes. But there was one guy who had like a lot of old horror, and it was really neat. Like I would have liked to get that stuff, like really old DC and really old other stuff. Like House of Mystery, House of Secrets, like the really old stuff though. And you had a lot of stuff like that, so I'm hoping like sometime in the future, when I can have a little bit more money to burn for stuff like that. But I like hitting up these bargain bins because I can get a lot of entertainment value, enough to keep me going for a good month or two, for like a pretty short amount of cash, right? It's a good value, and the other cool thing is if you know where to trade in the stuff that you end up not wanting, you can kind of keep your value going forward and like trade in the single issues that you don't want for graphic novels at like another place and stuff like that. So I like to do that to keep it going, Anyways, on with the show here. So this is Air Maidens from Eclipse Comics. I like Eclipse quite a bit, especially all this like 80s, 90s Chuck Dixon stuff. I'm getting kind of into it, especially Evangeline, though. That's one series that I really like. I think is a great series, but this is Valkyrie and Airboy characters. Chuck Dixon. The art looks pretty decent, Chamber of Chills, Marvel horror. These can be like kind of hit or miss, in my opinion, but I'll give it a shot. I really like Beware. That's a really good series for the art and the writing too. Erotic Worlds of Frank Thorne. Frank Thorne, who did Red Sonja Volume 1 for Marvel, and I guess here he is like kind of using the Red Sonja character in an adult manner. So we'll see what that's like. I was glad to find this for pretty cheap because, I've always been looking for this title because I think Frank Thorne's art is like pretty sick. But yeah, usually you'd have to order it and like you can't get it seemingly for like less than maybe $15 with shipping and all that. Another thing about Frank Thorne, I think that you might not be able to tell it on this, but you know what? I'll come back to that later. Here's Todd McFarlane Hulk, I believe. The reason this was so cheap is because it'll like beat up, but it's cool to find that for cheap. Eric Larson and Todd McFarlane. I like this Jeff Purvis Hulk. I don't know why. I think his art's pretty good. I think he has an influence from Michael William Kaluta too, I would say. Like his line work, but he's a bit underrated. I know he's not a lot of people's favorite, but around this era of like 350, when Hulk's on that weird planet and they see him as like a deity, then they want him to be a ruler and their god. That's a cool story. So I'm trying to get all those. This is trying to complete that Sam Keith Wolverine run. I think this will complete it for me. So I'm gonna finally read that all in its entirety and see how I like it. I like the Sam Keith art. Mr. Miracle Special, #1. I got this because I thought it would be Kirby. But the inside isn't. We'll see. Occult Files of Dr. Spectre. I just got this purely for the cover. I like 70s horror, though, especially the indie stuff. So we'll see how that is. Jack Kirby comic here, OMAC, One Man Army Corps. When you see Kirby for $1, you don't pass that up, right? I just read the OMAC series from, was it 1990 or 91, by John Byrne, and that was awesome, dude. It's worth reading, and it's that paper where you hit it with one medium and it does the hatching, and the other medium does cross hatching, kind of like in the old Ninja Turtles comics. And I really enjoyed that a lot. In the late 80s, you would see, I would think a lot of people were trying to bite Alan Moore and go for that epic, dark, tug at your heartstrings, post kind of destructionist superhero comic. But that John Byrne OMAC, I think it did a lot of that best stuff without really copying it. That was really good. So looking forward to this too. I really like Kirby, even the 70s stuff. This nice Whilce Portacio Punisher. Punisher Volume 2 is great. If you haven't read it, if you're a Punisher fan, you should. If you like all the Garth Ennis stuff, yeah, that's really good, but the best stuff is the first ongoing series, the first Unlimited series, I would say. I'm going to open this up because I just want to show you there's neat stuff going on in these. This one, well, I can't show it too much because copyright and all that. But let me see. There's a storyline where there's a Charles Manson stand-in. Of course, the SWATC's going the other way to not offend people too much. I like this panel here. He says, tell me, Lydia, can you fly this thing? She says no, or Ernie's the only one. So he kicks her out because there's too much weight, I think, in the heli. Keep flying, Ernie. Say you love Satan. I do, Charlie. You know I do. Say it. Nice, nice kind of a fantasy Mike Baron gets to weave of taking out Manson. Yeah, and trying to complete that whole series eventually. I started only getting the Whilce Portacio stuff, and especially when it's inked by Scott Williams. Whilce Portacio and Jim Lee art is fantastic. I kind of like it before on the Punisher runs before X-Men. It's less pin-up-y, it's more illustrative. So I did start doing that, but then I ended up liking Mike Baron's writing so much, and even all the other writers. So I'm trying to get all these Punisher ones when I see them cheap and stuff, But they're really fun. Almost have all this Euro hit, so I haven't read it yet because I'm waiting to try and get the whole thing. Let's read Sonya Volume 1, Frank Thorne again. see if there's a good example here. Well, I want to say that I'm wondering if he even influenced the way Frank Miller draws women, because he has like that dark outline around the eyes and then that thick lip outline and kind of just 2 dots for the nostrils. I noticed like Frank Miller did that quite a lot. Kind of looks similar if you ask me. Who knows though? All these Phantom Stranger series is really good. A good horror anthology. So see what that's like. Sinestro Core by Jeff Johns and Ethan Van Sciver. You know, love him or hate him. He's a talented artist. I kind of, you know, I don't want to be divisive, but I think he's like a really funny guy. Solomon Kane. This is 1986, and it is... Mike Mignola penciling and Al Williamson inking. That's interesting, so I look forward to checking that out. Also, a fan of Robert E. Howard's writing. You gotta like Robert E. Howard if you like classic fantasy, and it's dark and violent. This one is John Ridgway and Al Williamson. I quite like John Ridgway also, so that should be alright. Star Wars #1. I'm not like, you know, the hugest Star Wars fan, but you know, check it out for less than $1, right? Submariner. Oh, my phone's gonna die in like 30 seconds. Stupid thing. Yeah, these Submariners. Swamp Thing, #1 reprint, but it's pretty beat up. But you know, get to check out that first Len Wein and Bernie Wrightson story. These Twisted Tales, another good horror anthology, adult oriented. To continue here. Yeah, I'm trying to get all these Larry Hama, Mark Silvestri Wolverines. I think it's a really good run. I've always liked this cover, so I'll check it out. This came with the issue following too. Greg Capullo is pretty nice. I believe that's who made it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not like a huge X-Men fan, but I'm kind of checking them out here and there. Usually if it has the characters you like on the cover, then they're the ones that are going to be featured mainly in that issue. It's kind of like some fan service here. Savage Land, Jim Lee. Yeah, is this like when Sabretooth starts to be a good guy or some stuff like that? I don't know. I used to have almost all the Lone Wolf and Cub series, but I started to get rid of it because I was like, oh, I'll just get in the trade paperbacks, but it has that like that little format, those trade paperbacks, so I figured I kind of actually like these better. I think these are from like 1990 or 91, and you can open them and the art's bigger, so I like these better, so I've almost got all these now. These are neat, man. This is a neat series. It's Steve Ditko, Machine Man, and it's kind of like dark and weird. You know, maybe that's just reading too much into it, but it's pretty far out stuff. Punisher War Journal #1. As far as I know, this isn't a reprint, so it's kind of a cool score to find this near mint for $1. Because I think it's usually, you know, like 10 to 15 or like 8 to 15 or something like that. I've almost got all these Punisher armories now. I think this is one of the, maybe the only one I was missing. Punisher Born. I think this is one of the best of the new Punisher series, or the most recent, you know. As far as Garth Ennis and stuff, I like it. It's kind of like a bit shock jock-ish. I love Garth Ennis though, but I don't really like comedy. So Born is kick butt, man. I'll try not to swear on this. But yeah. Found this whole Born series. Bargain bins there. If you've never read it, it's pretty kick butt. I love these. TMNT Volume 1 is great. Just gonna open it up. I think this is one of the only issues. This Wolverine is one of the last issues I'm missing too from the Larry Hama and Mark Silvestri run. Kind of trying to go for the Larry Hama and Mark Texeira run as well, because that's pretty kick. But saying that sounds terrible when you don't actually swear. This issue is wicked, dude. Leonardo #1 takes place right before it. But you might remember in the movie when they attack April's home. Burn it down. And it has this pull-up. Well, it's not a pull-up, but a fold-up. Here it is. I think the other copy I have is like, this is kind of coming out of the staple, so and I have like an intact one finally. Yeah, so that's about it. I'm gonna have some more videos because since last Halloween I meant to like do a lot of comic features, but things just kind of like happened. A lot of crazy stuff to get busy with, and you know, don't want to get into it. Nothing too scary. You don't have to be worried about anything. But I have a lot to catch up on. I might have over the last year, probably besides this, like a long box of stuff to kind of feature, and I've just been like trading up and wheeling and dealing a little bit to just try to keep it like all the cream of the crop. And so I have a lot of new graphic novels I could show off to you guys too. But I'm not really into superhero stuff too much, so it's mostly indie and horror and some sci-fi. So yeah, like and all that stuff if you care to. Thanks for watching, guys. Look forward to posting more in the future. Alright, thank you.